Hello, beautiful souls. This is Ryan of tranSOULution, and welcome to my channel, Transform with Ryan, where I am bringing in that light whenever there are shadows. Now, in this pick a card tarot reading, we are going to be looking at what will your next relationship be like? And this is for romantic relationships. So this reading is geared towards singles. We're going to look at when it's likely that you are going to meet. We're going to look at first impressions that you may have of them. And we're also going to kind of look deeper into their personality and how the relationship will progress in the early stages anyway, okay? So I chose 4 beautiful shells here because we're gonna like get underneath the shell of the surface and we're gonna dive deep on what this next relationship is gonna be like. So just to bring a little bit closer to the camera, we have this first shell, very conical shape, right? And darker colors. And then we have this sort of classic clam type shell here with some barnacles on it. And we have another conical shell, but this time with lighter colors. And lastly, another clam shell with some pink colors and also lighter shades like white here, okay? So go ahead and see which shell is calling to you to give information on what your next relationship will be like. And you can click on the timestamp below in the description box to go to your reading. I'll see you there. Hey there, Star Fam. Welcome back to another reading here at Transform with Ryan. And for those of you that are new to this channel, sending you a very warm welcome and aloha. So happy to have you here. Do let me know in the comments down below where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. And so today, loves, we are going to be looking at what will your next relationship be like. So this reading here is geared towards singles. And for those of you that were drawn to this first shell that has the darker colors and the striped pattern here, we're just going to tuck this over right here. And let's start with some good old-fashioned astrology and zodiac information here, okay? So I've been called here to get 2 cards out for you, loves, to see what information we can find out about their zodiac sign, their astrological birth chart, and we'll get more information besides what just their sign is like, okay? So we'll get some personality traits based off of that. So Spirit is saying we are going to draw this and go with the bottom. Okay, so your next relationship could be with someone who is a Libra or someone who has a lot of Libra placement within their birth chart. Or they could also be a water sign or have a lot of their placements in the water signs. And so what I'm seeing here, well, for 1 second, the water signs, just in case y'all don't know, are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So we have Libra, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces are common or likely sun signs, I should say, for your next big relationship, or they could have a lot of placements, again, in the water elements or in the sign of Libra. Now, what I'm also sensing from this combination here together is this person has actually a very good balance between their mind and their emotions, okay? So the water element is all about emotions, intuition, creativity, but this person is also actually very, very smart, very intelligent. Another characteristic that I'm getting about this person too is that they have a lot of empathy and sympathy for people and those that are less fortunate than them, those that are going through a challenging or a difficult time. And a lot of this is because of their sense for justice and balance. And so they really feel the pain and the hurt of other people, and it really gets them riled up to take action and help in whatever way they can, because they're such a big proponent for justice, equality, and balance. What I'm sensing too is this person is kind of like a modern day hero, right? They really take the side of what's right. They really follow closely their moral code and their moral standards. And I think that's just really beautiful because this person isn't just pure brains and is like really cold because they have this emotional aspect of them. And conversely, they're not like too lost and too ungrounded because of their emotions. They have a good amount of common sense to them and logic to them as well. So there's this beautiful blend of energies here with the Libra and the water card. So next, I'm going to pull out, this is kind of like houses or areas of life that this person is going to impact your life in, okay? Ways in which they're going to really impact and influence your life here. There's not that many cards, so we'll see which one you end up with out of these options here. And Spirit is saying, do this. Okay. Love. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So out of all the options here, you know, other ones were like wealth, success, love, happiness, things like that. Or sorry, not love, because you got love. Happiness, marriage was another one. This person is really going to help you understand and experience what it feels like to be loved, like truly. And what I'm sensing from this too is it's going to be a type of love connection in which you feel like the other person really sees you and they really love all aspects of you, okay? And it's like a very unconditional kind of love. And where I'm feeling for you with this next relationship is it's that type of relationship where you can really like let your hair down, okay? Where you don't really have to be embarrassed or you're not super conscious of any of your flaws that you think you have, because this person is going to love you flaws and all. And they're never, what I'm sensing here is they're not going to be the type of person that puts you down. So there's definitely no hints of verbal abuse, gaslighting, disrespecting you, making you feel like you're stupid, talking down to you. Like there's none of that energy at all coming from this next relationship. And it feels so beautiful and lovely. And I'm so excited for you and I'm so happy for you because I think, you know, that's what all of us desire on some level, is to just really be accepted and loved for who we truly are. And for people to look past what we think again are our flaws or shortcomings, and to just accept us, like flaws and all, like good and the bad, right, of us. And so this person is really going to love and accept all of you. And oh my God, I'm so excited for you all just with that alone. This is so beautiful. Excuse me, I have like a bad case of allergies right now, so pardon my sniffles. So let's take a look at some first impressions here, okay, of this person. And then we're gonna look at like progression in your relationship. And then lastly, we're gonna look at what are the possible time frames in which you're gonna meet this person, okay? So I'm really excited to get into all these little bits of information for you, love. So first things first, let's start up with that first impression, okay? So we have fall. Oh, okay, Spirit is already giving you some information about a timeline here. So perhaps you can meet your person in fall. That's not exactly what we're intending. I'm still going to pull out some more cards about timeline because it's going to be months, all right? But we have fall, release, mystery, vibration, and community. So, my loves, so let's see what we have here with these cards as far as your first impression of them, okay? So what I'm seeing here is that you definitely are going to connect with this person because you both sort of are on this same vibration, okay? When you meet them, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I just get you. And I feel like they get me. And there's gonna be some commonality between the two of you that makes it very easy to sort of be comfortable with each other, okay? And part of it could be because you're from the same communities. And what I'm hearing is that it could be community as in culture, right? So maybe you're both American, or maybe you were both raised in Asia, or had an upbringing in the military, right? So these same communities that you both came from and you were raised in is going to be this common ground for you to connect. And it's this type of connection where it's almost like things go unsaid between you because you guys both just like get it, okay? Community could also be what I'm sensing for people. Could be like similar religious background. It could also be some spiritual understanding, right? Where it's like you both kind of use the same lingo, like me, for example, where I say like vibrations, law of attraction, manifesting, and energies and downloads, right? Like you both use the same lingo. And so you really connect. And it could be too, you might even have the same profession, right? That's also a community. And so you sort of have the same way you look at things and analyze things. So maybe you're both in IT, right? Information technology. You're both like computer geeks, or you're both gamers, or both people that really love doing triathlons or marathons. So you have this commonality that really helps you connect and vibe really well with each other, like so fast, almost instantaneous. And it's like you guys just kind of get each other, and it's this core aspect of your identity when it comes to community. That's what makes this first impression so strong and so powerful. Now, what I'm getting to from this is even though you have this anchor here, this common ground that you both share, there is this air of mystery about them. And it could literally be like big time mystery where you're like, I don't know if I have you figured out yet. Or it could simply be that you have this desire to know more about them. Okay, like maybe you want to ask them questions that you don't normally ask people, or ones that you don't care about. Even when you're dating, like maybe you don't want to know about, like, I don't know, what their family is like and what their best friends are like, or what their deepest fears are. Like maybe you don't care to know those things when you first date and get to know people, but for you, when you meet this person, it's like you want to go really deep with them and you really want to get to know them on an intimate level, and you want to have these questions about them answered, and like, dissolve this mystery about their personality and who they are and what makes them tick. And they'll also be very intriguing to you, okay? So you're intrigued by them, of course, but they'll have this air of mystery about them beyond, your romantic attachment or interest in them, I should say. So even people who are just like friends with them or coworkers with them, they have questions for this person. Like they want to know more about them. It could even be something silly like they have an accent, and it's like, oh, you have an accent. Where are you from? And people try to guess that, right? So in general, they just have this air of mystery about them. I know for myself, my ancestry is primarily from the Philippines. And people, when I first was working in medicine, people would always ask me, like, oh, where is my family from? Or where am I from? Or where was I born? Because of my skin, they would think I'm so exotic, right? And I had people guessing from different parts of Asia. Some people guessed, of course, that I was of Hawaiian heritage. And I was born in Hawaii, so I can see how people might think that. I even had people ask if I was like from Egypt or somewhere else in Africa. So there's just this natural curiosity, this air of mystery about them and intrigue, okay? So you'll tap into that energy as well, but you'll want to go deeper beyond that because, again, you have a bit of a romantic eye out for them, okay? Now, what I'm seeing here is this air of release, and it feels like it's feeding into this community and vibration. And earlier, what I was saying, where it feels like you could just let your hair down and you could just be truly who you are around them. It's like you don't have to have any filter. Okay, and there's never this worry about like, oh, let me watch what I say, or walk around eggshells with them, thinking that they're like super sensitive to something. And I'm feeling this like sigh of release where it's truly you're just not worried about what they're thinking. You feel like you can really trust them. And and here's a great word, like unwind and relax around them. There's really like no anxiety or doubt or fear when it comes to interacting with them. It's almost like you meet this person and you already feel like you can totally trust them, which is beautiful. And I think that's so amazing. And I'm like so excited and happy for you because that's definitely, you don't come across a lot of those type of people in your day-to-day life where it's like, oh yeah, I could totally like trust this person. I could like give them the keys to my house and know they're not gonna like rob my home or like, you know, break in and do me harm. Like, no, like nothing like that. Like you feel like you can really trust this person in so many different ways and on so many different levels, I should say. And I'm hearing too from Spirit that you really have such wonderful conversations because of it. Again, it's like neither of you feel like you have anything to hide or hold back from the other person. And so you have this open and honest communication. What I'm also sensing on a different note and sort of like a different level with this fall and release, I'm sensing that they're winding down or they're closing up a chapter in their life. It's sort of like a transition point in their life is when you meet them. And that could be part of the mystery and the story behind them as well. You know, it's going to be someone like, oh, I just moved into town. And like, oh, you did? What's your backstory? Or, oh, I just quit my job and I'm starting in a new career path. Oh, wow. Okay. Like, what's that about? What made you do that? Or it could even be like, I just got out of a divorce. Or I decided to pursue another degree, right? And it's sort of like, oh, wow, like, why did you decide to do that? Or it could even be like you meet them on a mission trip, like they came to do community service or mission work where you're at, right? Oh, yeah, that seems really strong. I never got that before. So for some of you, that's really, really strong. It's kind of like, like Doctors Without Borders and the Peace Corps, like Red Cross, like they might even be involved in one of those kinds of organizations, and that's how you cross paths. And of course, that could be a great source of stories from them too. Ooh, that's really fun. I love that. So let's take a look at kind of the early stages of your relationship. Like, how does it progress? What are you going to experience? What are you going to learn about each other? This should be fun. I'm already like, wow, we already got so much information that's so intriguing about your next relationship and about this person. And it's like, oh my gosh, I kind of wish I was your friend. So I could hear all about how your relationship is progressing because it almost sounds like a beautiful fairy tale story or something. So I'm just gonna kind of layer up like this. So we have space, okay? So we have the Three of Swords, the Two of Cups, Queen of Coins. Oh, King of Coins. Wow, okay. And the Two of Swords. So this, what I'm sensing here from this is you actually are going to go to each other's homes really early on in the relationship, okay? Like it's gonna be like, hey, do you want to come over to my place and hang out? And so inviting them over to your home or them inviting you to their home is really the sign of, again, that trust and that intimacy between the two of you that's very present early on in the relationship. And with the Queen and the King of Coins coming in together with this reading, I'm really sensing this air of like, wow, we really complement each other. We really get along. It's kind of like, to be a bit stereotypical when it comes to love, it's like you really feel like you complete each other and you feel very whole together when you're with this person. And I'm getting this energy because the Queen is coming through with very strong divine feminine energies and the King is divine masculine energies. And even though we within each of us, we have the divine feminine, blah, blah. Thank you, Mercury retrograde, the divine feminine and the divine masculine. we have it in sort of like different percentages and different strengths and levels. And this other person really balances your levels of divine femininity and divine masculinity out. Um, and so there's this really homely connection with each other. And with this too, interestingly enough, what I'm getting with the King and Queen of Coins is in like the everyday world, in your everyday routines and sort of like your values even, it's very much aligned with them. I feel like you agree on a lot of things, and so it makes your relationship a lot easier to go deeper into. Okay, like you guys spend more and more time together, become more and more connected. Okay, there's very little bumps in the road. Now, speaking of bumps in the road, we do have this Two of Swords and this Three of Swords. So I'm sensing from this that, not everything's perfect, right? And so, despite this huge chemistry that you have and this very, what I would actually say is kind of like a soul connection, soul bond, there is something that you both will not necessarily agree on or see eye to eye on. And at first, when this happens, you're going to feel a little bit heartbroken and hurt about it. You're going to be like, oh my God, this was so perfect. And then this happened. Okay. It's going to be like, dang it. I thought this was like the dream relationship. But something's going to happen to make you realize it's not like 100%. However, okay, don't get discouraged. However, what I'm getting from Spirit here, because these are lower numbers, we have a 2, 2, and a 3 here. What I'm getting from Spirit, it's something pretty minor, right? It's something that you both can live with and work around and work through, okay? And it's gonna just be something, it's gonna be trivial matters, okay? Like, for example, you really love watching action movies and they just hate action movies. It's going to be something like that, where it's something that you really love and you really adore, and they're just kind of not into it. But the thing is, you guys have so many other shared interests and commonalities where it's like, whatever, who cares if you don't both want to watch action movies together? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you don't go to the movies as much together as you otherwise would with someone who does love action movies just as much as you do. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's something like that. Or, for example, again, these are like really small, minor things where it's like they don't like onions, and you really love cooking dishes with onions in them to add flavor, and they just hate onions, and so they don't want onions in their food. Does that make sense? So it's just this minor difference that you can totally work around, that doesn't outweigh the deep connection that you have with each other, because that's what this is right here with the Two of Cups, is this beautiful connection. And this is a really, really strong, beautiful, and great start to your relationship. No matter where it ultimately ends up going, the first sort of phases of the relationship are really blissful and really happy and full of love and joy and getting to know each other and being excited to be with each other and being happy together. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, so let's take a look at possible times when you're going to meet this person. Okay, so I'm getting called to get 3 cards out here. So 3 different months, okay? So again, it kind of depends on when you're watching this reading, on when this month is going to be. So it's going to be the upcoming month. So I'm recording this reading right now in May of 2022. So if February comes up, then it's going to be like February of 2023. Okay? So don't worry, you didn't miss your chance. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get at. So we have July. Oh, okay. So very, very soon. July. We have March. Okay. So if whenever you're watching this reading, so it's May 2022 when I'm filming this. So this could be March 2023. For you. And we have December. So we have quite the spread here. We have March, July, December, times of the year in different seasons. So I'm sending you all the best. Like, I hope you meet your person sooner rather than later, because it sounds like it's going to be quite the amazing relationship that's coming up next for you. Okay, my loves? So if you enjoyed this reading, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, feel free to share this reading with someone else who enjoys tarot as much as I do and as much as you do. And also hearing some good news about their fortunes and future relationships. Now, of course, if you want to do another reading, there's a link right up here in the top right corner. You can click on that link to go to another of my readings. But otherwise, my loves, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and allowing me to pass on these awesome messages about your next relationship. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye. Hey there, Star Fam! Welcome back to another reading here at Transform with Ryan. And for those of you that are new to this channel, sending you a very warm welcome and aloha. So happy to have you here for this reading on what will your next relationship be like. So do let me know in the comments down below where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. So for your reading, my loves, those of you that were drawn to this clamshell with these two cute pink barnacles here, we're going to start off your reading with some good old-fashioned astrology and zodiac signs. Okay, we're going to see what sun sign this person is most likely to be, but from that too, we're going to get information about their personality traits and their characteristics as well. Okay, so Spirit is instructed me to pull 2 cards for you all and do one more shuffle. And Spirit is saying we're going to do this card and this card. Okay, so it looks like we have Virgo and Aries energy. So they could have their sun sign, of course, in Virgo or Aries, or a lot of their planetary placements in their natal chart will be in the sign of Virgo or Aries, okay? Now, what I'm getting from this person already is this is someone who is very outspoken, okay? Very outspoken and a very, very hard worker is like the initial vibes and impressions of this personality. I get this person is very brave, and so they're outspoken in the sense that they don't mind sharing what they think and their feelings on something, and they're not as overly concerned about like making a good impression or whether or not they're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Now, I don't say that, you know, they're mean and insensitive. It's not so much that. It's more that they value honesty. And they value being their true, authentic self. They don't feel like it's good for anybody to lie or pretend to be somebody that they're not, okay? And with this Virgo energy, one of the characteristics of Virgo is to be very critical and very detail-oriented, okay? And so that's where I'm also getting this what's part of driving people to really be outspoken, okay? So sometimes, you know, people who are very detail-oriented, they might come off as a bit nitpicky, but it's really because they're more focused on the quality of the work that is being done and that is going to be presented, okay? So that's like a lighter aspect of that quality of being critical and detail-oriented. Now, what I'm also getting from this energy here is there's this energy of like service coming from them. So they they're likely going to have a career in the service industry, okay? And again, there's something about having everything up to par, up to a certain standard involved in it. So for example, it could be something very simple, as in like they work at a fine dining restaurant or at a private university versus a public institution kind of thing. So there's this air of like quality and wanting to have finer attention to detail when it comes to their work and their livelihood. And that could even be some type of specialty is what I'm hearing as well. So what is coming through as an example is like someone works in the medical field, right? But instead of being a general practitioner or like a family doctor, they're like a cardiologist or a neurologist, right? So they have a specialty within their field because they really value that detail and that specificity within their life. Also, what I'm getting about this person is that their house is actually very clean and very meticulous. I feel like that really just came out of left field because I wasn't picking up on those vibes initially. I was just kind of being a little bit general with it. But what I'm also hearing about their home is that their home is very meticulous, and that they're very clean people is what I'm getting. So their home is clean, right? We just talked about that, but also they themselves. Like they're that type of person that really makes sure that they brush twice a day and they floss every day and they get their cleanings, they iron their clothing, they make sure to do the laundry every week so they're not run out of clean underwear or something like that, right? Like that's the kind of energy and vibe that I get from this person. Wow. Almost feels a little bit like even a military person in some ways. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull cards out for an area of life, a domain in life that's really going to be important or a big deal when it comes to your relationship together, okay? So there's not that many, so I have to do like a very interesting job of shuffling it. Okay, well, it's this one. Wealth. So this person, I think because they're such a hard worker, or perhaps even because they're in some type of specialty field, they do have a lot of wealth to their name. And for some of you, that's going to make you very comfortable, right? It's like, oh, they have a lot of money. Like, I don't have to worry about taking care of them. And as a matter of fact, I could be the one being taken care of because this person is quite wealthy, and that's super cool. But for some of you, I also getting a sense that you might be a bit intimidated by this, okay? That the fact that this person makes more money than you are, or appears to have more wealth, like maybe they have a bigger house than you, or a fancier apartment than you do, or a nicer car than you. Like some of you may find that a bit intimidating because, you know, classically speaking, the car that we drive, the neighborhood that we live in, the type of home that we live in, speaks a little bit to social class, social status, and standing. And from the outside, it may seem like they're in a different social class than you are, and their wealth might, you know, subconsciously, if you're not aware of this anyway, make you a little bit critical of yourself and judgmental, and self-conscious about yourself, okay? Like it might bring up some thoughts and beliefs around self-worth for you. But again, this is like a relationship that you're going to be in with somebody. And so there's also some really beautiful things that you can learn from each other, and some beautiful ways in which you can connect. And at the core of it all, there is a mutual attraction, and there is some degree of love in the relationship. And so I would encourage you to not let that intimidate you, and in some ways, if you're too guarded, make you miss out on this opportunity to get to know this person, okay? I hope that made sense, loves. So let's take a look at first impressions. And I do apologize for my sniffly nose. My allergies have been really rough today. I left my windows open all day yesterday and like welcomed in the breeze. And I think that's not all that came into my house. And now it's like my nose is just not happy with me and is protesting the fact that I did that. So please pardon the sniffles. So let's look at first impressions that you have of this person, okay? We have divine timing. Marriage. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, okay. Home. Wow. Control. And compromise. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's just start off here with some of the obvious things. So, for sure, with this person, on some level, again, maybe even for those of you that might be a bit self conscious, on some level, you're like, okay, this is husband or wife material right here. Like, I would definitely be willing and open to building a home with them, starting a life with them, okay? So you already are seeing this person as having long-term potential, very, very clearly coming through here. So this person is definitely going to catch your eye, okay? And you're going to be wowed by them, and you're going to want to connect and get to know them better. Oh my gosh. So, with this control and compromise, it's so crazy how these two cards came out together next to each other, because I think this is definitely themes that a lot of relationships experience, right? Like, who is in control of this relationship? Who's the boss? Who has the upper hand here? And really realizing that neither of you is ever going to be 100% in control, at least in a healthy relationship anyway, right? And there's going to need to be compromise that's going to be made here, all right, in your relationship, and that you're going to have to give a little and take a little, and that, neither of you is going to have your way all the time. But the fact that this is being pointed out specifically says to me that this is going to be one of those challenges when it comes to your relationships, okay, is to ease a little bit of control for you and or the other person, and to really compromise with each other and find that middle ground, okay? Like, find some common ground to work with. And what I'm getting also from this control card for some of you too is, because this person has so much wealth and this perceived higher social standing, it's almost like you feel like they automatically think, or you might even put them into the default position of being the one in control, the one who makes a lot of the decisions. And that might be a role that they naturally fall into, given this Virgo and Aries energy, because, sometimes Aries and Virgo can be very bossy. And they can be the ones that like to be in control, because, again, Virgo has a lot of high standards. Aries, it can be a bit stubborn sometimes, and at their worst, Aries can also be a bit immature and a bit childish, right? Like, I want it my way or no way kind of energy. That's sort of the less mature version of an Aries. And so there might be some very obvious displays of wanting to be in control, wanting to be the one that makes the decisions. When you see this person, it's kind of like, okay, I guess they can have their way. And I think in the beginning, it's going to be something you can overlook. But at some point, there's going to be the need for this compromise to be like, okay, well, I let you decide where we're going to eat last time, so I want to pick this time. It's kind of like that sort of energy, that kind of scenario that is going to come up is what I'm feeling. Now, with this divine timing here, what I'm actually sensing from this, and this kind of speaks to that Virgo quality, that Virgo nature, is that you're going to notice that this person is very punctual and very picky about time. As a matter of fact, what I'm getting from Spirit is that this person is of that mentality of, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Have any of you ever heard that? I heard that like maybe just a couple years ago, and I thought it was the craziest thing I have ever heard in my life. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. Like, that seems so strict to me. Like, it almost makes me think of like army mentality. But again, this is me coming from someone who grew up in the islands, where it's like you're on island people time, or like brown people time, where people are just late to things, and that's just expected and that's normal. Now, mind you, I'm not late for appointments, and I'm not late for like catching a plane or watching a movie or something like that, like things that have an absolute schedule. But in general, if it's just like, oh, let's hang out tonight, let's just meet at the bar or whatever, like, I don't really For those kinds of things, I don't feel that pressure to show up on time. But this person, your impression of them is they're very, very timely. And they do not like tardiness. And that may be something that you love, like, because you're just as timely as they are, or it may be something that's kind of hard for you to work with because you're like, oops, like, I have no sense of time and I don't plan ahead. I just kind of leave when I'm ready to leave. And if there's traffic, oh well. Like, I don't know. To be honest, though, I've gotten better at that. Okay, like I'm better at being on time than I used to be. Before, it's like, geez, my friends would have to lie to me. Get this, guys. My friends would have to lie to me about the actual time things start because they knew I was gonna be like 30 minutes late at least. So if the party starts really at 8 o'clock, they tell me this party starts at 7 or 7:30, just so I would make it there on time. Because otherwise, if they told me this party starts at 8 o'clock, I would be there at like 8:30 or 9. So that's so funny that my friends used to have to do that for me. I know, really silly. Um, Now, with this next set of cards, we're going to be looking at sort of the first stages of your relationship, like the energies from the beginning of your relationship when you maybe even officially call yourselves a couple, kind of thing, okay? So we have the Queen of Wands. What an excellent compliment to the Aries card here, because Wands is fire energy. And of course, Aries is a fire sign. We have the Page of Cups next. Ooh, the Magician. Ooh, the High Priestess. Okay. And lastly, the Page of Coins. Wow. Okay, okay. So we have actually like a lot of archetypal people here. We have two pages, we have a queen, we have the magician, and we have the high priestess. So what I'm seeing here for this first stages of your relationship is that this is really a matter of choice for the two of you. Okay? It's what I'm feeling from spirit here is that you attracted each other into your lives. And what I'm sensing from this is that you attracted each other into each other's lives because there was something that you had to learn from each other. And that's what I'm getting with this Page of Cups and the Page of Coins, okay? So this is very interesting. I'm sorry, y'all. My like allergies are just too much right now. Um, and so on one hand, one of you was attracted to the other person to really help them get a better understanding of their emotions and how to express their feelings in a very healthy way. And oh, it's so beautiful the way Spirit is showing me how these are linked. Okay, so what I'm getting is this magician here is like this Aries energy. Okay. And this person really knows how to create things and make things happen for themselves. They have a very good professional life, okay? And that's part of why they were able to manifest and create so much wealth and abundance in their life, is because they're hardworking, they have a great eye for detail, and they're almost like overachievers in a way. Virgos can be overachievers. And so they, through their hard work, have really had a lot of success in their professional life, in their career. But what was lacking a little bit is the emotional part of their life. Okay, it's like they put so much energy and time into their work that, you know, dating and relationships, friendships and stuff wasn't getting as much attention. And in some ways, they were like maybe even emotionally stunted. Okay, like they didn't feel comfortable or competent even at understanding their emotions and expressing their emotions. And that's why you come into their life, because you make them feel all sorts of ways that they can't ignore or brush off to the side. And you help them learn how to navigate those emotions, especially when there's someone who has like an intense love, infatuation, or attraction to somebody, right? And what I'm getting to with this energy is that it can be a bit stubborn at times, and it can be very much like, well, I want things done this way, and they're just so used to that, so used to getting their way. They might even have been an only child, to be honest with you. And with you, they're learning this compromise. They're learning to relinquish some level of control, okay? Not just of another person, but also of themselves, because they try to control their emotions. And, people who are emotionally intelligent know that emotions are not meant to be controlled. Okay, like that's kind of the opposite of what emotions are. They're like uncontrollable, right? It's just something that you feel. It's just something that is. It's just something that you experience. So that's one aspect of this relationship, is learning early on the strengths that the other person has, which would be areas in which you can improve. Okay? Now, on the other hand, there's you here who, and of course, switch this if you need to help it make sense for your situation. But on the other hand, you are more intuitive. You're more comfortable with expressing your emotion. You're more comfortable with like going with the flow of things, right? Like you don't necessarily feel like you have to be on time always. You're like, oh, I'll just get there when I get there. I'll get there in perfect timing. I'll be there when I'm meant to be there, kind of thing. And there's also this energy of like being able to understand where other people are coming from and having patience. I feel like that's a big key here with the high priestess energy, is like there's this patience. It's like, hey, I can't tell you what to do. I just have to wait and trust that you will do what's right. Okay? Like it's that sort of energy, mentality, personality. And sometimes at the extreme ends of this, there's no structure in life. Okay? And there could be a lot of challenges faced there because you have to work in a system where a lot of people go by a schedule and by getting things done. And it's not so much like, oh, well, I don't feel like doing this today. It's like, well, who cares? It has to get done, right? Regardless. And so there's that end of the spectrum where there's like no drive, no ambition, no motivation, right? If it gets too much into this emotional, spiritual energy here. And what this person is going to bring into your life is a little bit of structure and a little bit of order, okay? And also it's going to be good for your finances and your living situation and your personal situation as well, because sometimes, this type of energy here that's so free-spirited, it's not able to experience as much success in career or profession as these type A personalities, okay? And so this person is going to help balance that energy out of that free-spirited energy by giving it a little bit more structure and allow for more productivity to come into the picture here. So that's really, really, really cool. Now, with this Queen of Wands energy, definitely what I'm sensing between the two of you is, despite whatever differences you may have and whatever things you have to compromise on, there is this fiery passion between the two of you. It's almost like your differences frustrate you, but it also kind of like turns you on at the same time. There's that kind of dynamic where you feel just really drawn to this person. And overall, this next relationship energy is very much in line with this sort of opposites attract kind of vibe, okay? So that is really beautiful. It seems like a very lively relationship where there's like definitely no moments of boredom or sort of predictability here. And I really love that. Now, it makes me think of those like sitcoms from like back in the 90s where these opposites attract kind of relationships and personalities come together, and you kind of see these almost comical ways in which they butt heads in their everyday life. But at the end, they always come together and realize that, hey, no matter what I said earlier, I do still love you, like honestly and truly, despite our little fight or disagreement. So let's see when you two are going to cross paths, when you are going to meet here, which months are like the most fortuitous for a meeting between the two of you divine beings. So we have the month of September. So this is whatever's coming up for you, okay? So the time of this recording would be is May 2022, and so this would be September of 2022. So it's just whenever you're viewing this, it's the next upcoming month. April, okay, so April has passed for the month of oh my God, for the year of 2022. And so this could be April of 2023. Again, this is from the timeline of the recording of this video. So just apply it as appropriate for whenever you view this reading. And then we have June. So we have June, April, and September. So wow, quite the spread of months here. So there's a month in every season for you to have a possibility of meeting this next person and starting this next relationship in your life. How exciting! So if you enjoyed this reading and anything resonated with you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, I invite you to share this reading with someone if you think they'll find some enjoyment out of this and like to know more about the next relationship in their life. So definitely share it with them. And if you're ready, you can click this link up here in the top right corner. That will take you to another reading on this channel if you'd like to do so. But otherwise, my dears, this was so much fun doing this reading for you on your next relationship. I'm so excited for you to experience this. And until next time, sending you so much love and cosmic hugs. Bye. Hey there, Star Fam. Welcome back to another reading here at Transform with Ryan. And for those of you that are new to this channel, sending you a very warm welcome and aloha. So happy to have you here. Do let me know in the comments down below where you're tuning in from. I would love to hear from you. So let's get to your reading, okay, fam? So you have chosen this lighter conical shell here, and we are going to start with good old astrology and zodiac signs. So Spirit has instructed me to pull 2 cards out from this deck, and it's going to give you some information on the person's possible star sign, or where there is a large amount of planetary placements in their chart, their birth chart. And also this will actually give us some insight into their personality already and their characteristics, okay? So let's see what we got here. We have Venus. Okay, so Venus rules 2 signs in particular. It rules Libra and Taurus. Okay, so they could definitely be a Libra sun, a Taurus sun. And I'll get into this in a second. So let's see what the second card is. Cancer. Okay, so that could be a Cancer sign. So we have, again, Taurus, Libra, Cancer. And it could be that those are, again, their sun signs, or it could be that they have a lot of planetary placements in those sun signs. Or in those signs, I should say. So what I'm getting from this person is, oh my gosh, this person is super sensitive. And I don't mean that in a mean way, you know, where it's like they can't take a joke or anything like that. It's just that they are very emotionally connected, emotionally in touch, not only with their emotions, but the emotions of other people. And I would say this person can definitely be categorized as an empath, all right? I'm sure many of you that are watching this video are familiar with empaths. So I would say this person that you're gonna have your next relationship be with is an empathic individual. What I'm getting to is that they're very romantic. Actually, with this combination of Cancer and Venus, they're very romantic in the sense of it's not so much a lot of grand gestures as in like, oh, I want to whisk you away to this amazing resort weekend getaway, or I'm gonna buy you roses every day and chocolates. Like, it's not necessarily that they're romantic in gift giving in that sense, or like flashing any wealth or possessions, but they're very romantic and sentimental in that they do things very thoughtfully when it comes to you and your dates. You know, it's like they remember things like, oh, I remember you said that you really loved this band, and so I found out that they are coming to town at this time, so I bought tickets so we could go together. You know what I'm saying? Or they're saying, hey, let's go watch a movie together this weekend. I remember you said you really like, romance films. And so I saw that there's a romance film that's out in the theaters now and it got really good ratings. Like they remember those things about you and they act upon it, okay? And I also see this cute gesture where it's like they know what your favorite soup is or what your favorite food is that helps you feel better when you're feeling sick or whenever you feel like you're having a rough day. Like they will remember the things that help you feel comfortable. There it is. That's the main thing because Cancer energy is also mother energy, okay? Like divine mother energy, that nourishing and nurturing energy. And so they are very nourishing and nurturing towards you as well. It's like they want to do whatever they can to help you feel comfortable, help you feel content, show you their support, like that they actually care for you and that they value you in their life. I'm also getting with this Venus energy. So a lot of people associate Venus with the planet of love. And that is totally true. But Venus is also the planet of creativity, self-expression, self-worth. And so this person is a very creative personality in general. So they could have a lot of artistic hobbies, right? Self-expression hobbies. It could be dancing, it could be painting, writing, poetry, music. What I'm getting to is like even just simply building things, like what's coming to my mind, which is again kind of random and left field, but my nephew watches these videos. But there are people who like build and design their own remote control trucks, like RC. I think they call them like RC trucks. And so they literally like design and build them and then they race them and they put them on these tracks. And I know there's people who even like build airplanes and they fly them, right? So there's like even some kind of hobby like that where they get to build or create something. And okay, this is also random. I don't know why I thought of this because I don't think many people do this nowadays, but there's people who used to build boats inside bottles. That used to be a hobby back in the day. And I'm like, man, that would take some mad skill to build like a elaborate and detailed ship within a glass bottle, like craziness. So anyways, they do have this creative, expressive side of them that they really love to indulge in on their free time. Now, what I'm sensing for this individual as well is it could go one of two ways. Either one, despite the fact that they're so nurturing and they're so caring and they really put others before them, they don't do it in excess because they do have a sense of their self-worth and they do have a sense of boundaries. Okay, so that could be one version of this person. Another version of this person is that they don't really know boundaries, okay? And that they don't really have the strongest sense of self-worth. And so at times, they're that type of person that could easily be walked over, okay? Easily taken advantage of. What I'm sensing for them is like in the past, they definitely have had their heart broken by a lot of people because they really were taken advantage of for their giving nature, you know? And it's really, it's going to be different for all of you as to whether or not your partner has learned that lesson of creating boundaries and standing by the boundaries that they've created. So very, very interesting with that. I love that. So we're going to pull a card here from this few selection. And we're going to see like what aspect of life is going to be really impacted by this next relationship, and like what major shift, what major change is going to happen within you and with them as a result of being in this relationship together. Okay. So we have happiness. Oh, okay. So this relationship that's coming into your life, this person is really going to help you reach new heights of happiness. What I'm seeing here is a lot of laughter, and just so much joy. And it's gonna be like, wow, it's been so long since I laughed this hard where I'm at the point of tears or like I can't breathe or I'm snorting, you know? Like, not just like a chuckle, it's like flat out ROFL, right? So you're going to be really happy with this person, and they're going to brighten up your life in so many different ways. I think a big thing here, as I'm staring at this orange ball, which makes me think of the sun, is this person is going to make you so happy because they really see you. They really recognize you for all that you are. And it's like, it's almost like there have been very few people in your life that really truly saw you and acknowledge you in the very subtle ways and in the very subtle aspects of your personality. And what I'm sensing is that this amount of attention and care that you'll be receiving from this person is going to make you so happy. It's almost like you're going to be shocked at how happy you are. It's like, what I'm getting is, I didn't really know I would like this. I didn't really know this was possible. Like, that's the kind of thoughts and notions that I'm getting from you, once you come into union with this person, when you meet up with them and you start your relationship together. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I could be this happy. Like, I thought I had experienced happiness before, but no, this is happiness right here, what I'm experiencing. So that's really awesome. I love that. I especially love laughter. Like, I'm so big on laughing. I think it's really medicine for the soul to be able to laugh regularly in life. You know, for those of you that watch my videos often, like, I do tend to laugh a fair bit in my videos. And it really, you know, it really helps me connect with that childlike energy within me and that sense of awe and wonder with the world. And I feel like this relationship can definitely do the same for you. It can rekindle your imagination and your sense of possibilities when it comes to life. Which is perfect because this person, like I was saying earlier, is super creative, right? And what is creativity but a really robust imagination and being able to see things that not everybody is able to see. So this second part of the reading here is going to be about first impressions, okay? That you have of this person. So we have home. We have travel. Oh, interesting that those two came out next to each other. We have, oh, yes. We have receive. Oh, that is perfect. That receive card. Yes, Spirit, come through. And memories. Oh, I love this. So what I'm sensing a lot for many of you already is there's this healing energy coming through for you where maybe in your own childhood you felt like you weren't seen, you weren't appreciated, and maybe you weren't loved. Some of you could even have some issues with abandonment, right? Or loneliness. And this person is like shifting that around for you. They're really how can I say this? It's almost like they're making up for what you didn't have when you were younger or in previous relationships. It's like they're going above and beyond, okay? So they're helping you heal a lot of these abandonment wounds, these fears of being seen wounds. And also it's like that this idea that, oh, people don't really care what happens to me, or I've had to be independent and do everything on my own. Like, the only person that could take care of me is me. Like, they're really healing a lot of those wounds here. And for once in your life, you're going to be able to receive from someone else, abundantly so, okay? And I can't help but notice with these strawberries, it's like this color red, and it makes me think of love. It makes me think of the root chakra, the sense of security and safety of having your needs met, not being denied love, right? And so I'm feeling that a lot of that is healing within you. And with this big old yes here, the first impression that you have of them is like, yes, I want to be with you. Like, you're amazing. You're awesome. You're like someone I've never met before. Like, I'm getting that kind of energy when you meet them. Like, that's the first impression that you have of them. And there's this energy of home with them where you feel so comfortable, so safe, and so warm, and so nurtured around them. And there's this fondness, this energy that I'm feeling, this emotion I'm feeling is like fondness for them as well. With this, I get a couple of things. So, whatever fits your personality and your interests. So, one is that what's going to be really attractive about this person is that they're very well traveled. This person is someone who has seen a fair amount of the world, and you think that's really, really cool. And for others of you, and this could be even be in addition to that, but for others of you, I see you guys fantasizing, traveling the world with them and going to different places with them. And what I'm sensing is sort of the what's beneath the surface of that is you feel so safe around them. It's like some people feel like home is a physical place, right? Like it's a building. For example, it's a room. But for you, home is a feeling. And home can be attached to a person, okay? And this person feels like home. And so traveling with them always feels safe. And you always feel at home with them, no matter your surroundings. And I think that's really quite lovely. I would love to meet that type of person as well, where it's like no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, no matter the circumstances, I always feel safe when I'm with you. So that's some of the energies I'm getting with this travel card right here. What I'm getting with the memories card too is again, it's your impression of them and your time of them is bringing back memories of your childhood, but it's also kind of going in line with this travel bit is it's like you want to make new memories with them, right? It's already like you're seeing yourself going on your first vacation together, going on your first trip, going to your first movie together. Like you're already thinking of all these firsts that you're going to experience with this person when you meet them. It's like you want to do all this stuff with them. You want to experience all these firsts with them because they just feel so delightful and so lovely to you, and their energy is just amazing. And you're like, oh my God, like I want us to be together. And what I'm feeling is it's almost like you're so drawn to them. This is like such a big and resounding yes. Like you're so drawn to them. It's like, you know, even if we don't end up dating, I just need you in my life because you're so freaking amazing. Like that's the type of energy that I'm feeling from you. It's like you're so drawn to this person, you'll just take them however you can get them as a friend or as a lover, doesn't matter. Like you want them in your life. They're that magnetic and that attractive to you. Dang, okay, you better get it. So let's see what the first part of your relationship is going to be like the early stages of your relationship. Let's tune into those energies here with the tarot. Okay, that did not go so well. Let's try that one more time, and then we'll cut the deck. Okay, I apologize for my sniffles, y'all. My allergies are just in full force today. But I just wanted to do this reading, and it's been so much fun. Okay, so we have the Three of Coins. Ooh, the Three of Swords. Interesting. We have the Eight of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Three... Oh, the Three of whatever. No, girl, that's the Empress card. It's the Empress card. And you know what? I have to say already, what's so perfect about this is the Empress card and Cancer go strongly together because the Empress card is also the Divine Mother card. It can represent like Mother Earth, Mama Gaia. It represents the mother in a household unit and within the family, because from the Empress, all things are born into the material world. It also speaks to creativity, which is also the domain of Venus, right? So the Empress card is really just supporting this energy here that this person naturally has and what it does for you. So in the first portion of your relationship with them, you're going to feel very well cared for here. And I would even say it's almost like you will believe everything is possible. Like looking at this Three of Coins here, we have this young boy that has this lamp and a genie's coming out of it to grant the three wishes. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, this person is everything that I knew I wanted, and even the things I didn't know I wanted. Like they are really checking off all these boxes for me right now. That's what I'm feeling here. So it's very much like this honeymoon phase, honeymoon energy that you are experiencing with this individual. Now, what's interesting here is we have the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And what I'm seeing here for this is going back to that healing energy, okay, that we mentioned here in this section. And for a lot of these energies to be healed and released, they have to be brought back up to the surface. And so what I'm seeing for you is you're going to feel and experience all these wonderful things that this person brings into your life. And then there's going to be with it this energy of regret. And this energy of also like, where have you been all my life? Like my life was really rough and crappy before I met you. And sort of this sort of even a little bit of resentment where it's almost like, gosh, see, this is the type of nourishment and love I wish I had received from my family. And why did I have to wait until I met you to experience this? So there's some of that energy coming through here, okay? About dredging up past hurts, past pain, past heartbreak, and all the things that were keeping you emotionally trapped, and even maybe repeating some behavior patterns that weren't super healthy. Like perhaps you had a history before of pushing people away because you just didn't have faith in them and you didn't feel like you can trust them to have your back or be there for you. And so you're just in the habit of creating this distance between you and other people. And, actually for some of you, I'm even feeling that you might not even have been open to the idea of love and romance. And this person really changes your stance on that and helps you actually believe in love, okay? And that's what I'm seeing with this King of Cups, actually, now that we're on that topic. Because, in some mythologies around the world, dragons are like genies in a bottle and they can grant wishes and they have the power to create things in the material world. And so what I'm seeing is, with this person coming into your life, they're really this key to unlocking these parts of you that you were so afraid to let out. That wishfulness, that hopefulness, right? That, oh, I would really love it if I could meet this kind of person. But, given my track record and given my past, like, I don't want to get my hopes up. Like you may have had that energy or that mentality before, and now you've met this person and you realize like, wow, this type of person really does exist out there in the world. And I really could have a beautiful romance and a beautiful connection with someone. And so not only are they nurturing you as well, but they're helping you heal some of these more painful experiences, memories, limiting belief systems that you've had previously. And I think that's just so wonderful. And, with this card, they're really guiding you. With the Eight of Swords, they're guiding you out of this difficult, trapped position that you have been in. They're removing that blindfold there for you so you can see this world of possibilities with them. And you can start creating these memories with them as well. Oh, this is such a heartwarming story. And you know what? This feels very much like just a tender-hearted romance here, where it's just like, it's that type of thing that goes, aww, right? Where where there's just so much healing happening here, like heart healing, and it's truly, truly beautiful. It's, oh my gosh, I love it. I love your reading. I love your reading. I'm so happy for you. My shell number 3. So what are we waiting for? Let's see when you're possibly going to meet this person. Like, what are the most likely times out of the year you're going to connect with this person that's really going to help bring so much more joy into your life and more love and healing. Oh, I can't. This is just like so awesome. I'm loving it. So happy for you. It's like, I think I need to meet this person too. I need this person in my life, or my version of it. You have your version, I have my version. They just sound so lovely and so delightful. Okay, so we have January. So the months that I'm pulling out is referring to the next month that's coming up for you. So, okay, what do I mean by that? Because I know I just so confusing what I said. So right now when I'm filming this video, it is May 2022. So this would be referring to January of 2023. So it's the next time this month comes around in sequence. So it's not like, oh, you missed your chance now because January passed for 2022. No. It's like next January, okay? Hopefully that was a lot clearer now. And next we have December. Okay, we have like back-to-back months here. So December is a big month, and November. Oh, this is so interesting. November, December, January. This is the first. The other readings did not have like a sequence here of these months, but you do. November, December, January. So there's this 3-month period here in sequence in which you will be able to connect with this person for your next relationship. And it's so interesting that it's like when here in the northern hemisphere, the temperature gets a little bit cooler and colder. And then we have here with home this fireplace with the cocoa and the popcorn. So I definitely see you two spending a lot of cozy time together, like bundling up together, staying warm together, enjoying some hot beverages together. Oh, it sounds so cute. I love it. Oh, in any case, if you really enjoyed your reading, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And of course, if you know anybody that would enjoy this kind of reading, make sure you share it with them too. Share the wealth, share the joy, share the happiness. And if you're ready for another reading, you can click this link right up here in the top right corner. It'll take you to another reading here on my channel. But until next time, my loves, I'm so excited for you. Sending you so much love and cosmic hugs. Take care. Bye. Hey there, Star Fam! Welcome back to another reading here at Transform with Ryan. So happy to be sharing energy and space with you once again. For those of you that are new to this channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Sending you a warm aloha. Do let me know in the comments down below where you're tuning in from. I'd love to hear from you. Now, for those of you that were drawn to this 4th shell here with the pinks and the whites and the browns, let's get into your reading on what will your next relationship be like. And we're going to start off with good old-fashioned astrology and zodiac symbols here. So what we're going to pull through, this could be the sun sign of your person, or they could have a lot of planetary placements in this sign or element. But not only that, but we're going to get some insight already into their personality, okay? By pulling a couple of the cards out from this deck. So one more good old shuffle like this, and Spirit is saying the bottom and this one. Okay, so we have Capricorn and Aries. Oh, so we have the goat and the ram. So this could be that their sun sign is in Aries or Capricorn. Or it could also mean that they have a lot of planetary placements in these two signs on their birth chart. Okay, so for those of you that are familiar with astrology, you know what I mean with that. And for those of you that aren't, don't worry about it, because most people don't know the birth chart or the birth sign of the person they're in a relationship with. So no worries. Now, what I'm already feeling about this person is that this is a person who is very hardworking. That's that Capricorn energy coming through. They're very disciplined and dedicated. That's kind of their MO where it's like whatever they say they're going to do, they stick with it. They see it through to the end. And they have enough energy because of this Aries card here. They have enough energy to see even the most challenging or most difficult of tasks through to the end without fail. And what's interesting too that I'm noticing about these two signs is Aries and Capricorn are cardinal signs. And so they are really great at initiating and starting things. And traditionally, cardinal signs have a hard time of sticking it through and staying committed. But because we have this blend of the Capricorn and Aries energy here in this personality, they actually are able to see things through to the end. So they have excellent follow through, they have excellent follow up. Okay, they're not just, what I'm getting from this person is they're not all talk. You know, they put their money where their mouth is, they get things done. Now, what I'm seeing also about this person is that they're a bit of a stickler. Maybe even almost like a stick in the mud, to be honest with you. This person, I feel, is actually very traditional. And that's some of that Capricorn energy coming in. They have very traditional viewpoints and thought patterns and behaviors and beliefs, right? They're very much rooted in tradition. And what's the other word for that? Not ritual. Oh, sorry. I think I was shaking the camera a bit. Yeah, I can't think of the word right now. So they're really big into traditions, okay, and doing what people before them did. They do it with a little bit of their own unique twist, but they still kind of, at the basis, believe in tradition and values. Okay, so for example, this is the type of person that's like, I'm gonna marry someone, right? They're not really into the notion of like, oh, I'm just gonna have a life partner and we're not going to actually go through the ritual of marriage and, you know, change our last names and da 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 da. Like they're that type of person that wants to do all that stuff. They're not very new agey kind of personalities. What else? What else is another example? For some of you, if you resonate with this, they're that kind of person too, where, you know, like traditionally, the man earns the higher paying job and, you know, goes out to work and provides for the family, and the wife takes care of the household and the home. Okay, so for those of you that resonate with that, that is part of what this person could be like as well. Trying to see if I feel like there's something else that's trying to come through from spirit with this, but it's not coming through very clearly just yet. So it might be something that's going to come out later on in the reading. So let's move forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull, these are like areas of life, domains of life in which this relationship is going to have like a big impact on, or it's going to play a big role in your coming together and the dynamics of your relationship as a couple, okay? So let's see what we got here. There's not that many options, so I'm trying to do my best to like do a great job of shuffling everything. Okay. Oh, happiness! That's great. So this actually came out for the third group as well. This card, happiness, and so this is wonderful. Before I get into that, I just remembered what this thing was about. So this, speaking of traditions, so that's going to be a big part of their life. So if they have a tradition to take a vacation with their family every year at a certain time, that's something that's very important to them. Or like cultural traditions where like the quinceañera, right, for Latin American cultures, and the debut for like people in the Philippines. And it's making me think too of like in Korean culture, on the child's first birthday, which technically I think is the second birthday, because I believe in Korean culture, when the child is born, they're already 1 year old. So, in any case, on the first birthday celebration in Korea, and I think this is super duper cute, they put all these different objects in front of the baby, and then whichever object the baby chooses first is gonna kind of show where they're gonna have success in life, you know? And so they have like a pen or a paintbrush, they have a calculator or an abacus, they have money like in a bag. So they have all these different objects, and it's sort of this activity of fortune telling for the child as far as what their future holds for them, depending on what they end up grabbing as a kid. Okay, so that's like a big part of their life, is these traditions. And a lot of it is also very cultural, you know. For example, like in some cultures, when parents get old, you don't send them to live at a nursing home. They live with the eldest child, that kind of thing. So there's like just certain traditions that they really adhere to. Now, moving back to the happiness card, this is lovely. So this person is going to make you very happy in your life. They're going to bring a lot of joy into your life. And what I'm sensing from this, it's almost like, now this might sound like a very odd analogy, but it's like you have this idea of what the recipe is for a happy marriage, a happy life together with your partner. And that's going to be different for all of you, okay? And so whatever that means to you, like what is your idea of a happy and healthy relationship? That is what this person is going to provide for you. Okay, so it's very, very specific for you. Like some people, with what I was saying earlier, was like the man is the breadwinner in the family and the wife is the one that stays at home. Like some people, that's a strong value for them, and it's what they strive for. It's what they would like. But for other people, it's kind of like, no, we should both be working and we should both be able to earn a wage to the peak of our ability. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, who is the man and that they're making more money. Like, that's irrelevant. We have a shared wealth now. So, right, so there's going to be these differences in what everyone would classify as a happy and healthy relationship. And the important thing is that this relationship is going to provide you with what you need to feel that you're in a happy and healthy relationship. So, hey, wishes granted. Love it. Excuse me, my nose is like super runny from allergies. My apologies, y'all. Sorry if that is a bit of a distraction. So with this next part of the reading, we are going to look at your first impression of this other person, okay? That you are going to have your next relationship with. Wow, that was like wonderful shuffling, I have to say. I was literally on the struggle bus with some of these readings with my shuffling skills, but those ones, they went perfectly. So I'm thrilled about that. Oh, the small pleasures in life, right? So we have split energy, perception, chaser, stuck, and feminine. Oh, interesting. Okay, so what I am feeling with this, your first impression of this person, is that honestly, they are going to be in a million places at once. I definitely sense this energy of like a busybody. That is the impression that I'm getting that you're going to have of them. You're going to like, oh my gosh, this person is a busybody. Like, do they ever have a chance to sit down and rest? And a lot of it is with this, because of this Aries energy that they have here. They're just like, go, 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 go. It's almost like, to some degree, you even wonder or question if they have ADHD or ADD, because their attention is like all over the place. And I believe that's a lot to do with the fact that both of these are cardinal signs. And so this person can come off as very excitable. It's like, oh my God. You know what it makes me think of? Have any of you ever watched the movie Nightmare Before Christmas? And there's a song where the main character, Jack the Pumpkin King, goes to Christmas Land. And he's seeing all these new things at Christmas Land, like Christmas trees, Christmas lights, snowflakes, presents. And the song is called What's This? And he just, like, he goes all over the house and, like, grabs all these different things and, like, what's this? What's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And there's this, like, hyper curiosity about everything around them. And that's definitely the impression that you have of this person is like, oh my gosh, it's like they can't sit still, not even for a moment here. And what I'm seeing too is because their energy is like all over the place, and they can't focus on something for long, it's almost like you have to go out of your way to make it very clear to them that you're interested in them. Okay? And it's not that they aren't interested in you. It's just, again, they don't have a lot of focus sometimes. And they have so much going on. They might have a lot on their plate. Like, you know, not only do they have a job, but maybe they do have their hobbies. They do volunteer work. Maybe they have a side hustle, like whatever, right? They have a gym routine. So they just have a lot of things on their plate. They have a very busy schedule. And so it's like you end up having to do a lot more of the work in the beginning, and you come off having to be more of the person chasing and pursuing the relationship than they do, just from the get-go. Okay? And you know what's coming through, which is very interesting as well? And this is just your perception. Okay? This doesn't necessarily mean this is actually what's happening. But because you are the chaser and you're kind of in a position to observe more about what's happening, because they're kind of in it and they're like in the midst of this hurricane of activity and movement, it's almost like you can see that there are a lot of people that are interested in them as well. And what I'm getting is that this person is pretty sociable and pretty friendly. And so it's almost like, to some people, because they can talk to about anybody and they're very friendly, is that they can seem very flirty. Okay? And it could, to some people, again, it's like, wow, this person is very chatty and friendly. They talk to anybody and everybody. And so there might be this perception of like, oh, they have a lot of interests. Maybe they're like a heartbreaker. Maybe they go on a bunch of first dates and don't really do second dates, right? Like maybe there's this air even that they might be a player. But that's actually very, very mild, that impression. It's sort of like more maybe some shadow thoughts or subconscious limiting beliefs that you may have within you that leads you to this perception, because really they're not, they're not that type of person that's a player or a heartbreaker. Like, they actually have a good heart, is what I'm feeling from this person. Again, it's just that their energy's all over the place. And so, there's what I'm seeing is that, and it's not just you, but a lot of people have a lot of misperceptions about them. Like they just make their judgments on their personality based on what they're seeing. And it's likely just a fraction of their identity, okay? Because again, they're involved in so many different things and you don't really get to see them much outside of that thing. So imagine if you were their coworker. So you see them at work and then they're not available to hang out and do other things because they have their gym routine, because they do volunteer work, because they have a side hustle, because they go hang out with their family on the weekends or whatever, right? They're just all over the place and doing so many things. So you just think in your head like, oh, they're not interested in making friends because they're always so busy. But that's just a perception, because you don't get to see like the time they do hang out with their friends and the type of relationship they have with their family. Or you just see them, at the gym working out. And you think, oh, that person just really cares about their fitness and they're conceited and whatever, because they have such a nice body and they always look on point. And so a lot of people make a lot of snap judgments about this individual. And again, they're only seeing pieces of the person and they're sort of making up the rest to create this full holistic identity because this person is all over the place. So they don't really get to fill in the missing pieces. So this person doesn't fill in the missing pieces for them. And so the person that's observing them ultimately creates the missing pieces, okay, whether they're justified or not. Does that make sense? Maybe some of you can even relate to that, where it's almost like, it's like judging a book by its cover. You don't know everything. You don't really know. And so you might be in that position as well, where you just don't know much about them. And so you're creating these elements that are missing and you're making assumptions about them. And what I'm seeing here with first impressions too is it's going to feel very slow moving when it comes to them. And that's kind of leading up to the next part of our reading as well. So we'll get to that as well. But what I'm feeling here with this stuck energy is like, just like there's so many cars here, nothing is moving. It feels like even there's like this contrast where there's this whirlwind of activity. And so you would think that they move fast on things, but really they move really slow. Okay? Like, especially with relationships. So what I'm sensing is you have the desire or the interest to take your relationship to the next step before they show any signs of that themselves. And again, it's just because like their priorities are really different. And it's okay, so this is really interesting. It's not that you're not their priority. It's just this person lives so much in the moment that whatever they're doing in the moment, that is their priority. Okay? And that's actually a really beautiful thing about them. And one of the things that may even attract you about them is because when they're on a date with you, they are fully present with you. Like you are the center of their universe when you're on a date together. But that trait is also applied everywhere else in their life. Okay, so like if they're at work, like work is the center of their universe at that moment. So they might not get back to your text messages until the end of the workday, because maybe during lunch, like their priority is to eat lunch and focus on getting that meal in so they can go back to work. Or they might even be that kind of person that unfortunately has to work through their lunch break. So they're like eating while they're finishing work. And so it's like they're just in the present moment. And some people, it might be tough for them to work around that. Okay. But know that that's just their personality type. Now, with the divine feminine, I'm just getting that this person comes off as very loving, very kind, very giving, very considerate overall. I think that's so beautiful. That even though they're super ambitious and they're a go-getter, they're not like a dick. If that makes sense. They're not like a rude person, or what is that kind of, like they're not very cutthroat in their career or their profession. They show a lot of patience for other people and a lot of consideration. And, kind of despite their busy energy and their fast moving energy, they're not the type of person that will like walk over people or take them for granted. Oh, yeah, that's really sweet. I just feel like this person is really misunderstood. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think they're really an amazing person. And I get the sense that you know that on some level, but just because of social protocol and timing and all that kind of stuff, it's really hard to hang on to that idea that they're a really great person. It's just they're misunderstood. Oh, I really feel for them. Pardon my snuffles again, guys. So let's take a look at how the relationship is like in the early stages between you two. Okay, let's kind of see what we got cooking here. Okay, had to give my voice a break. So I hope you appreciated that pause as well. Okay, so we have the Chariot. Ooh. This strength card, fortitude, is how this deck labels it. The Two of Cups. Oh, this is looking good. This is looking real good. The Lovers. Oh, yes. Very good. Very, very good. And the Queen of Cups. That's so lovely that the Queen of Cups is right there underneath the feminine card. I would have to say, even though all of the queens in the tarot deck are channeling that divine feminine energy within an individual, I almost feel like the Queen of Cups is like the ultimate representation of the divine feminine, okay? Someone who has a lot of emotional richness about them and a lot of kindness, compassion, and empathy within them. So all very, very beautiful traits. And I think, early on in the relationship, you're going to come to realize this about that person. It's almost like you're going to uncover very slowly at times all the different layers about them, and you're going to get to know them, and you're going to really, really like what you see. And I get the sense that a lot of your misperceptions that you might have had early on with the first impressions here, you're going to get more clarity on it, and it's going to make you feel more at peace. It's going to make you feel better. And it's almost like your worst fears about this person aren't actually true, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And honestly, the more you learn about this person, the more you're going to fall in love with them. That's what I'm really sensing here. Okay, it's like on your end for sure that you're going to fall more and more in love with them as you know more about them. Now, this person, of course, they're kind of all over the place, but they're already present with you. And so the fact that they would actually take time out of their busy schedule to focus on you, to take time with you, even if it's just like, okay, I have an hour that I could have for dinner and I would really want to spend it with you. Or I have, the afternoon free on Saturday and I would really, really choose to spend that time with you and do something with you. And that should make you feel very special. So it's like you can't necessarily have them all the time, but when you do have them, they are all about you. They are fully 100% present with you. Excuse me. And I think that's a really beautiful relationship. Oh my gosh, y'all. I am so sorry. I really apologize for that distraction with all my sneezing. But I think that's lovely that because in this day and age, so many people, like you go watch people who are out for dinner or they're just hanging out outdoors or whatever, and so many people are just on their phone. And they're just like tapping away, like going on social media, watching videos, listening to music. Like they're not paying attention to the people around them at all that they're supposed to be spending time with. So this person is not like that. Like when they are with someone, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a lover, they like will put their phone down. They'll put things aside. And it's like, hey, I know I've been busy at work and doing these other things. And so to show that I care about our relationship and I care about you, I'm going to put my phone aside, put it on silent. I'm going to put it away, and I am going to look at you and have a conversation with you and talk to you and really listen to what you have to say while we're on this date, while we're together here. So wow, that's amazing. I love that. I love that for you. And here, oh my gosh, with the Lovers and the Two of Cups, I didn't get this sense from all of the other readings, like maybe one of the other readings, but I'm getting the sense here with this reading that this person, like there's a high likelihood you're going to marry them. You're going to be in a long-term committed relationship with them. It's not just going to be like your next relationship in general, and that may come to an end. Like, no, this person, there's like a high chance that you all are going to end up together. Because and I didn't show this to the other decks or the other readings, but with these cards here for Areas of Life, there is a marriage card. And this marriage card didn't come out for any other readings. But with your reading, even though the happiness card came out for another reading, with your reading here, this combination of the Lovers and Two of Cups is definitely screaming marriage and long-term commitment. Now, if there was the Four of Wands here, it's like 100% guaranteed marriage right there with the Lovers, Chalices, and Four of Wands. But that's okay. This is still high, high, high likelihood. Now, what I'm seeing here with the Chariot and the Fortitude is with this relationship, in order for it to be a success, you're going to have to face a lot of your insecurities when it comes to relationships, okay? So for example, you know how we were talking about when this person is at work or when they're in the gym, they're fully focused on that, okay? And so they're not checking their phone while they're working out. They're not, getting distracted by text messages or emails while they're at work that come through on their phone, unless it's part of their job, of course, right? But if they're in the middle of a task, like for example, maybe they work in construction, I don't know, right? Like they're focused on the machine that they're handling and what the physical labor that they're doing. Like they're not distracted and they're not gonna like answer their phone every time it rings or it buzzes or anything like that. They are like 100% focused. And I know in today's culture, again, I'm not saying this is you, but since this is a general reading, I'm going to explain that there are some people where you send a text message and when you don't hear a reply within the next, 30 minutes, the next hour or two, a lot of people start to panic and they're like, oh my God, is this person like cheating on me? Are they breaking up with me? Why aren't they answering me? Are they hurt? Like what's going on? Right? And it's like, no, that's not the case. This person just is not that kind of personality where it's like they, it's like a Pavlovian response where the moment they hear their phone buzz, they like rush to it and check what's going on. Like they're not that person at all. And so it's going to take some strength of character and strength of willpower on your part to get to know this person's behavior patterns and not make assumptions based on what is the cultural norm or sort of the cultural consensus. Okay. And so you're going to be challenged in that way to really trust this person, that they're not doing anything shady, that they're not doing anything, suspicious if they don't always get back to you, or if they're not able to go on a date with you every other day, if they have other commitments that they are responsible for. But again, the exchange here is that when they do spend time with you, they are with you 100%. They are present for you. There are no distractions when it's your time together. And that's the way to success. That's what I'm seeing with the Chariot card, okay? It's like this is the way to victory. This is the way to success, is really understanding this person's behavior patterns and where they're coming from and not letting any of your insecurities block the way. Okay, so let's pull out some cards here. These are cards for the months of the year. That's going to tell us when you are most likely to meet this person. That's going to be the next relationship in your life. Okay, so such a small like little group here compared to what I'm used to shuffling. Okay. So we have October, December, and November. Oh, wow. October, November, December. That's so crazy because you know how I told you the last reading had the happiness card? They also had a sequence of months here, like a sequential order of months. Now, this, at the time of this recording, it is May 2022. And so this speaks to October, November, December of 2022. Now, if you're watching this reading in like December, then what it means is it could be that month of 2022 or October 2023, November 2023. Okay, does that make sense? So just the next time this month comes up, that's when you have a high chance of meeting this person. All right, my loves. So for those of you that really enjoyed this reading and got something out of it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, feel free to share this video with anyone who you think would enjoy this pick a card reading as well and learn more about the next relationship in their life. I would greatly appreciate that. Now, if you'd like to go to another reading, there's a link right up here in the top right corner. You can just click on that. It'll take you there now. But otherwise, my love, this was so much fun doing this video. I hope you all enjoyed it just as much as I did making it. And I will see you again very soon. Take care. Sending you all so much love and cosmic hugs. Au revoir.